Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Somehow we are back for another book haul. I do these every 2 months because at the beginning of the year I set parameters for how many books I was going to buy, and I was going to evaluate it on like a every other month basis, every 2-month basis. A lot of those rules have since gone out the window. I don't think that I've followed them in quite a while at this point, and I definitely didn't today, as you can tell, because of the fact that 2 of these stacks are as high as my shoulder. And spoiler, they're not the stacks of books that I've actually read that were new purchases. So yeah, so we're just gonna get right into it. I'm probably not going to give a really in-depth synopsis for most of these books, because if I do, we're just gonna be here for a really, really long time. So we're gonna start with just the stack of random ones that I have. The stack over here is like special editions that I've gotten, and yeah, anyway, we'll get into that. So just starting right at the top, I went on a huge book buying spree at the beginning of fall. There were just so many different things that I wanted, and this is one of those purchases, and it's If It Makes You Happy. Everybody keeps talking about this, saying that it's like a Gilmore Girls-esque book, and it really sort of calls back to Luke and Lorelai, which I love from that show. So I really wanted to get this time of year and get around to reading it. I still have time in fall, so I'm like not super worried about it, but I haven't gotten to it nearly as fast as I meant to, but hopefully sometime soon. Then keeping in the vein of books that I got because of fall, we have A Grim Reader's Guide to Catching a Killer. Such a mouthful. This was not on my radar at all, but I saw it at the bookstore, and it seemed so funny. And it's about this modern day Grim Reaper who works at Scythe, secure collection, yielding, and transportation of human essences. And she's not really into anything super crazy while she's there. Then she goes and picks up a new client and finds his soul is missing. But when she finally tracks him down, he angrily insists that he was murdered, and he refuses to move on until Kathy finds out why and by whom. So she has 45 days to solve the mystery before the boy's soul is doomed to roam the earth as a ghost forever. To do that, she'll have to make a call on the help of a retired mentor, her almost ex-husband, and inconveniently Connor himself. It's the wildest case of her career, and one wrong move could cost Kathy her job, not to mention her life. It just sounded like it was gonna probably be like a fun, cutesy version of like a Grim Reaper story, and I couldn't pass that up. Then I got The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. This is actually on my 25 and 2025 TBR, which is part of the reason that I got it, but also got it around fall time because it's a thriller, and I love thrillers around this time of year. This one is just about this woman who goes up to the lake, and she is mesmerized by this picture-perfect couple across the lake, and I'm going to assume that something happens to them, and she ends up wrapped up in this mystery, kind of like Girl on the Train vibes, but hopefully done better because I didn't really like that book that much. But anyway, this is one that was actually sent to me very kindly by the author. This is called The Raise. This is a sort of corporate intrigue, murder-esque book. I don't know like the entire plot. All I know is that it's about this new CEO who takes over the position when the old CEO is found very brutally killed. Like, she was beaten, she was burned, and they're starting to wonder if it had anything to do with secrets within the company that they work for, and if it was going to sort of start affecting the new CEO. I'm hoping to get to this soon. I like to read books that are sent to me by the author in a timely manner, so hopefully I will get to this very soon. It is also on my November TBR, so no excuses on that one. Then a book because I really wanted to continue the series. We have Accomplice to the Villain. I read Apprentice to the Villain in I think September, and really enjoyed it. I forgot how much these stories make me laugh, and they're just cute and they're fun little fantasies. So I got this wanting to continue the series, especially in the fall time. So hopefully I'll get to do that soon. Then we have 9 Liars by Maureen Johnson. I just love the Truly Devious series. This is the last book in that connected world that I haven't read yet. I think another one is going to be coming out next year, and I would love to be caught up on those. This was also part of like my fall TBR, so I just ended up picking it up for that reason, and because I was like, if I have it, maybe I'll get to it sooner. Yeah, anyway, some more books that I got because of fall. We have Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. I've just heard incredible things about this author's writing, and I haven't read any. This one sounds really fun, and it's about this young woman that's raised in a convent, and her older sister, unfortunately, is part of the royal family. She is as well, but she's like younger, so they don't really care too much about her. And her older sister is being sort of just given to this royal family in hopes of securing their nation, but it's not really somebody that is going to be good for her. And Mara decides that she needs to save her sister from this abusive relationship. She makes a deal with a witch, and she has 3 impossible tasks that she has to complete in order to save her sister. It sounds like it'll be fun. I think with like the witch involved, it'll be really good for this time of year. I just haven't gotten there. Say it with me again. Another thriller that I got is From Below by Darcy Coates. I'd forgotten I had another Darcy Coates book on my fall TBR, and when I went shopping I was like, oh, I really want to read some of her stuff. Everybody really raves about her, so that's why I picked this one up. This is about a steamliner, I think, or something like that, that sunk decades prior, and now a dive team is able to go and sort of investigate the ship and maybe figure out what happened to it. But while they're below the surface, weird things start happening that sort of start calling into question how this ship ended up down there and whether or not this crew is going to make it back to the surface. Sounds like it's going to be really eerie. My other Darcy Coates book that I ended up reading, I really, really loved, so I'm really excited to get to this one. Then I picked up Scythe and Sparrow because I read the second book in this series, I forget, a couple months ago, and I wanted to continue reading it, and this one's, again, good for fall time because it's about a daredevil rider for like a circus, and of course there's serial killers involved. All of the books in this trilogy are about serial killers, so again, good for creepy, spooky season. Hopefully I'll get to that sometime before the end of the year, but no promises on that one. Then I picked up the first 2 in the Throne of Glass series. This one I actually just found at the used bookstore. Didn't realize it was the second one, but I was like, I want to read this series sometime this year. It's on my 25 and 2025 list, and I'm drastically running out of time to read through the series, so I'll just buy it because at some point I'll get to it, and it ended up being the second book, or third book, depending on how you look at it. I've already read The Assassin's Blade, so technically I'm going to be reading these as like second and third in the series. Then we have another one that I got wanting to work my way through the series, but now I'm really not so sure about it, and that's Fearful. This is like, I don't even know where this is set in the world. I think this is set between the second and third book in the series, and it's a novella. I loved Powerful, the first novella, and I was hoping that I would love this one as much, but now I'm not really seeing anybody talk about this anymore. The series really seems to have just like fallen off the face of the earth. A lot of people weren't very happy with the way it ended, so I'm a little nervous about getting into this one. But it is really short, so it's not like it'll take me a really long time, but still, I don't know. The fact that no one's talking about it has deterred me from picking it up. Then a book that I didn't have my eye on at all, but I'm very easily swayed, is The Silver Blood Promise. I was told that this gives like Indiana Jones vibes, and that was about all that I really needed to get into this. I still don't know the premise of this, haven't read the back of it at all. Kind of want to go in blind because I just love that comparison, and I loved those movies growing up, so yeah, that's why I picked this one up. I know it's like a fantasy and gives Indiana Jones, so hopefully it's actually going to do that. Then another series that I picked up at the used bookstore is the entire box set of the Red Queen series. Listen, I had planned on reading this at some point in my life, most likely. Wasn't really high on my list immediately, but when I saw the entire box set in like pretty much like new condition for a really discounted price, I couldn't pass it up. I mean, I could have, but I didn't because I was making a lot of poor choices that day as far as shopping and spending money goes. I don't really know much about that series other than a lot of people compare Powerless to it, so that makes me intrigued because I want to see whether or not there is actually an argument to be made that Powerless takes a lot of its storyline from that series. I've just also heard really good things. Then 2 random ones that my boyfriend actually picked up for me because he saw his neighbors were giving them away. We have 2 Book of the Month editions. We have The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I think this is like a fake marriage thing, but I'm not really sure. Oh yeah, that's what it is. So I guess like these 2 people pretended to get married for subsidized housing while they were in college. She thought that she signed the divorce papers when the graduation cups were tossed. Turns out that is not actually the case. The male counterpart in this arranged marriage is attempting to claim the money from his grandfather's will, and part of the clause is that he can't get it until he's been happily married for 5 years. But the one caveat is his family now wants to meet the girl that he's claimed that he's been married to since college that they've never met before. So she agrees to go on this vacation with them. It's probably going to be a ridiculous good time. Plots like that are just fun for like summer, so I'm not going to get to that one anytime soon. And then we have Mercury. This is set in a small town in Mercury, Pennsylvania in the 1990s. And I think it's like about these three men that are part of the same family and this woman who gets a little bit too wrapped up in their personal lives. I don't really know. I haven't read too much of the description on this one in all honesty. It's not very high on my TBR, but like I said, my boyfriend picked them up for me and I'm like, they seem interesting enough that I will keep them. So then moving on to the stack of special editions that I got. Most of these are subscription box purchases, but some of them are books that I got on my own because I'm terrible about getting subscription, like special edition boxes, I mean, because they're just so pretty. So I got the LitJoy crate editions of the Clockwork series by Cassandra Clare. So we have Clockwork Angel in the pretty sprayed edges. We have Clockwork Prince, and again, some pretty sprayed edges. And then Clockwork Princess. I haven't read these books at all, but I own the Mortal Instruments series also in the LitJoy crate, which comes with a cool heart box to carry them in, and they're just so pretty. So when I saw that she was releasing some like this, I really wanted them just because then they would match the other ones. And I think that I'm going to enjoy this series as much as everybody else, hopefully. I don't know. I don't need a lot of justification to buy special edition books, and yeah, this stack can certainly attest to that. Then another one that I did buy myself that didn't come in a box, we have A Theory of Dreaming. This is the Waterstones exclusive edition. I bought this one because I read a study in Drowning last year, have the Waterstones exclusive edition of that, and I wanted the sequel to match that one. This is actually on my November TBR. I'm most definitely going to be getting to it sometime this month, and I'm very excited for it because the first one was perfect for a fall read, like dark academia, a little bit gothic as well, and I think this one will probably give the same vibes, so hopefully this one will live up to my expectations for it. Then I ended up joining a new subscription box, which I know I didn't need to do, but I did. I finally got invited to join the Mystic book box, and they do a lot of dark romance books. I actually have this one right here, the Mind F series. That's a Mystic box that I bought at like a reseller price. So when I saw that I could get in the subscription box, I was like, okay, we're gonna do this. And it's like a bi-monthly book box, I think. I don't know, but you get two in there. So the month that I got was featuring Carrie Lake. So we got Nocticadia. I've heard really good things about this, and obviously this one just screams spooky season. I don't know that I'm going to get to it at all this year, but I would really like to sometime soon. But like these covers and everything are just stunning. So I have no regrets about being a part of this book box. Nocticadia was already on my list. Then I also got Master of Salt and Bone. This is another one that is like a gothic, eerie, creepy story that this one I know absolutely nothing about, if I'm being completely honest. But again, absolutely stunning hardcovers, and the dust jackets are absolutely stunning as well. They're very heavy duty. Like, I haven't really felt any that feel this way before. I don't know how to describe it, but they're really, really nice. And I'm not normally a fan of dust jackets. And then it came with some character art. I have no idea which books these character art go to, so that'll be fun to figure out at some point. Then moving into some of my other subscription boxes, we have Never Ever After. This is a Fairy Loot book that, again, I know nothing about. Most of my subscription boxes, I'll be honest, unless they're books that I've heard of previously, I don't tend to know what the premise of them is, just because they're just random books that I get sent. So I do end up getting sent a lot of books that I would never have picked up necessarily, and sometimes they're really good hits, sometimes they're misses, you know. It's just a fun roll of the dice. I like that aspect of it. Then we have The Second Death of the Block. I do believe this is an Illumicrate book. I know this one is about a female knight, and I think there's a lot of books this year that have been published with female knights in them, which is kind of fun. So I've heard really good things about this. I'm intrigued to get into it. Not really a premise that I've read too much in my books, so hopefully that will live up to it. Then we have one of my favorite books that I've gotten in the past 2 months, and that is the Fairy Loot version of Alchemized. I was so excited when I saw that this was going to be in one of the subscription boxes because I read Manacled last year, 6-star read, God tier book, absolutely adored it. So like I obviously was going to read the traditionally published version with the reworked magic system and everything else. And getting a special edition as soon as it was released is just fantastic. And this special edition is gorgeous. Like this is one of my prized possessions now, and I can't believe that I have something so pretty for this book. I do also have just the regular hardcover because I wanted to read through it and annotate, and obviously I'm not ruining this special edition, so I do have that I purchased in the past 2 months as well, but I don't know. I didn't want to show the same thing twice. Then we have another, I think this is a Lumicrate. Yep, a Lumicrate. This is called Voidwalker, and this is a very different vibe from some of the books. This kind of gives like sci-fi. I don't actually know if it's sci-fi, but that's what the cover kind of reminds me of, and I'm excited about it. I've been getting a little bit more into sci-fi this year, so I'm very hopeful that I'm going to continue enjoying the genre, and getting some more options is always exciting. And then we have The Isle in the Silver Sea. This is also an Illumicrate book. I feel like I've now talked about 3 Illumicrate books, which doesn't make sense, because I should only have 2. I'm gonna guess that one of the months was late, and that's why I had 3. Either that or I've screwed up where one of them comes from. But no, I'm pretty sure these are all Illumicrate. So one of these is from a month that is not actually September, October. My bad. This is another one with a female knight in it. This is actually my most recent box that I've gotten. So the artwork on this is beautiful. But even more beautiful is this naked hardcover. Like, I love the artwork on that. That's absolutely stunning. And then we have the artwork on the back of this one. And again, the naked hardback, just so pretty. I love naked hardbacks that have character art on them as well, because like I said, I don't really love dust jackets sometimes, so it gives me an option to just remove the dust jacket, put it away somewhere, and just showcase the beautiful hardcover. Then we have my Fairy Loot for October. We have Thorn Season, which I've actually started seeing people talk about, but I don't really know much about the premise of it. I think this is like an academy setting fantasy, but I don't know if that's an accurate statement, but I had started to become curious about it. So I'm very happy that I got the book in a book box, and then it just has the traditional cover on the dust jacket on the inside. And then I also got Alchemy of Secrets by Stephanie Garber. I was really hoping to read this sometime this fall. It just came out, and her books are like the epitome of fairy tale and perfect for the fall time, like the Caraval series and the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, and I was really excited to see that she was branching out into an adult fantasy. I've heard some conflicting opinions about this book, but I'm excited to see what it's about from my own point of view. So those are all of my special edition books that I got in the past 2 months. I only have 1 stack left, and this is the stack of books that I purchased and actually read within the past 2 months. I would have liked for the stack to be higher, but I think it's not too bad. It's not too bad. So this is the stack. Like I said, I think it's not terrible, but some of these I did purchase when I hadn't read, like, I'll explain. I'll explain when I get there. The Housemaid's Secret I read in a 24-hour reading vlog and really enjoyed this. This is the second book to the Housemaid series by Frida McFadden, and I figured why not get this when I did enjoy it. Then we have that Darcy Coates book that I was talking about, Where He Can't Find You. Loved this so much. Definitely solidified my opinion that I'm going to enjoy all of Darcy Coates' books, if not most of them, around the thriller spooky season. Another spooky read that I read is Hidden Pictures. This one's fun because it has drawings in it from the kid, and it adds to the storyline. It's about this boy who starts drawing caricatures of a person that is dead, and then the pictures start becoming a lot more adult, and there's obviously some sort of supernatural entity at play, and the nanny is trying to figure out what is going on, but she has her own history where people just aren't believing her because of her past. So I really enjoyed that. I think it's available on Kindle, but obviously with the pictures, it's so much better to read it in the physical copy. Then I got Morningstar. I listened to the audiobook for this one and have been collecting the series once I finished the audiobooks. This is the 3rd book in the Red Rising series. I don't remember what month I finished this, but I did purchase the physical copy, obviously, within the past 2 months. Then we have The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I really want to read the rest of this series. I just have so many other things that I'm trying to read that I'm like, I shouldn't wrap myself into one specific series, but my god, this was an incredible book, incredible start to this series, absolutely gut-wrenching. very heavy topics, but like Arf Kwong's writing style is immaculate. Then, okay, this one shouldn't be in this stack. This should actually have been in the first stack of random books that I bought that I haven't read, which is To Snap a Silver Stem. This is the second book to the series. The first one is To Bleed a Crystal Bloom. I think I heard that these covers were going away. These are the indie editions, so I wanted to buy them for that reason. So that got mixed in this stack and it wasn't supposed to. My bad. Then we have The Lies of Lena. I actually read the Kindle version of this months ago. Definitely not within the past 2 months, but I read the second one in the past 2 months, and that solidified my love of this series. So I was like, okay, I want the indie versions of this before they go away. I still need to get the second book and the like novella that came out in the indie versions, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Then two that like I haven't read in a long time, probably not even this year. We have Savage Lover and Throttled by Lauren Asher. These were both at the used bookstore that I went to, and like I said, I really liked the series. This one, I have the first 2 or 3 books in the series, so I wanted to continue purchasing them. This one, I figured, you know what, if it's this cheap, I did enjoy the series. So we'll see if I can start collecting those slowly through the used bookstore. Not gonna go out of my way to find them, but yeah. Then I have the third book in the Mistborn series, The Hero of Ages. I listened to the audiobook for this a while ago as well, and then only just recently purchased the physical copy for my shelves. And then another one that I read on Kindle but then really wanted the physical trophy is Wings of Ash and Flame. This was an ARC that I was sent. Absolutely love this. This is pretty much like Fourth Wing and Zodiac Academy mixed together, and then of course it has like its own elements that make it unique. But if you love both of those vibes, you're going to love this book. It's set in an academy setting, and she has absolutely no magic, but she's expected to survive this Fae academy, and this is the only way that she can get out of the prison that she had found herself in. It's absolutely wild. The betrayal, the found family, the just absolute twists at the end. Like, I love this book so much. So definitely go check that out if you want something with both of those vibes. So those are all of the books that I got in the past 2 months. I think I should count them, but I really don't want to, but I'm going to because I'm sure people are curious. So I'm going to count these really quick. So that's 43 books that I got in 2 months. Most definitely outside of the parameters that I had set for myself. Obviously, I'm not even going to go into what they were because it's just embarrassing. I'd like to say that I'll do better in the last 2 months of the year, but I know that I'm not going to. I end up buying a lot around Christmas time because Christmas books, and there's like different book boxes that I get around Christmas that are advent calendars, and yeah, all of those things. Black Friday gets me too, so yeah, at this point it is what it is. I'll try to do better next year, but I hope that you at least enjoyed seeing some of these different book options, and maybe you found a new book recommendation that you'd like, even though I know that most of the special editions I had absolutely zero synopsis of what they were, so sorry about that. Anyway, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching until the end. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in another video very soon.